And I got my sun hat in full force, and we are gonna get things done today. Also wanted to let you all know to go ahead and click the first link in the description below to join me over in Large Family Table Community for my special membership community that's open now for over 70% off. You get so much extra bonus goodness content from me, so click that first link in the description below and join me now. Yay. Okay, so strollers. Strollers have multiple uses. And today, my stroller is helping me get my Costco flower bulb loot. Life of a YouTuber. There goes my camera bag. That's okay. Getting this over to the big garden area. So here we go. Here's the big garden area in the middle of our wooded 7 acres that we have under development. Here's how the tulips are looking. The tulips are in full bloom. We have lilies coming back, irises. This is a butterfly bush that, I mean, the butterfly bush is going to take over this whole area. We had them at the farmhouse and they got huge. So eventually that raised bed will need to be moved from back there. The spring plantings though around it will still be fine, because how it should go every year is the tulips come and go and then the butterfly bush reblooms. You'll also see we have our nice collection of dandelions. We obviously have not mulched or done any other major things this year, but hey, it's April and we're doing things. I have a hostas coming in there. Looks like a rose of Sharon. These are some rose bushes I did last year. And then again, continuing to mix in the irises and the other lilies. My plan is for my beds around the house is, instead of doing mulch this year, like where we go and buy mulch and mulch everything or have it mulched, when I get my big wood chip pile and use that in the garden, I'm also gonna do wood chips in the beds all the way around the house. And at every house I've ever lived in, how I start my flower gardens around the house is I just get so many perennials and I cram those perennials in. I don't worry about the design. I don't think too hard about it, other than I get perennials in the ground, and perennials come back every year, and perennials are our friends. And here's how the front bed is looking. Now, I know we see some sunshine on here. This is really, I'm just thinking of it as a shade bed. I got much more hostas. These hostas will be out. Big leaves, they will take over this garden, and that's my goal in life for this. Now again, instead of doing mulch here, we're going to do wood chips. That's going to be in a few weeks though. I'm not doing anything in here today, just showing you kind of where we are now in April and how things change. I do have ferns that are also coming back. I'll show you several of those, and there's some ornamental grass. So all of these do wonderful in these shade gardens. There's another fern that's starting to come back, another hostas. And I think properly you're supposed to call them hosta, but you know, I do what I want. So another hostas, big one there, one back there. We have some little tulips here, hostas. Some tulips have come and gone, hostas. Now I have a lot of this periwinkle, and I'll decide on that. I mean, that'll take everything over, and it is great for shade. We'll decide when I get to the wood chips if I'm going to leave some of that or not. I do have some clematis that I can see coming back, and actually this little bit, this will take it several years because they really like the sun, but they are coming back. Let me just get, I have a kiddo holding a chicken behind me, so we'll get a look at a little chicken that's out. Hey girl, what's this one's name?
I think she pecks a lot.
Pecky?
I guess Pecky.
Pecky, Miss Pecky, Queen Pecky. She looks like a buff.
She does.
And these hostas here are giant, very giant. More here. That's daylilies, ornamental grass, daylilies, 1 boxwood. Tulips here that have come and gone. And then here we had a bunch of daffodils that have come and gone. The kids transplanted those here for me last year. And then we have a lot of hostas too. So this bed I had just started on last year. And again, it's a mess right now. But it'll give you something to look at next time. When we're done with this video and you come back later in May, you can see how we pulled this together. So this is the area where we had a bunch of the dead trees out, and Travis got the stumps out with the stump grinder before it broke. We still have 2 stumps there. Those were going to be delicate anyway because there's some electric line that runs under them, so you can still remove them, but it's a delicate job. And I said, you know what? We'll just leave them. It's okay. So this is going to be a whole new, and hey, there's we got one of those axe throwing games at Walmart. There's one of the axes. Hey, Life with Kids. So anyway, this will be a whole new garden area that's under development. I plan to do compost here. We're going to also, again, heavy with the wood chips. That's going to be a new thing for me this year that I'm super excited about. We have some rabbits there that we move around in the rabbit tractor that I've been doing in that area there. That's grass. And then, hey, here's a new spinner that we got at Costco and just put it in here. We have another one over there in our pumpkin patch area. So this, everywhere you see grass here, this is going to be in-ground garden area. You can see here some of our little beds. I always like to think, well, it's kind of like life. Sometimes you get a little crunched up. That's okay. You do the best you can. You keep growing. A few tree limbs had fallen here. Projects, so I'm going to do a lot of projects today. Something we're going to work on is I bought 50 strawberry plants for $1 each from a nice lady on Facebook Marketplace. And I have my square foot gardening square there. And we're going to go ahead and get these strawberries. I think it's going to probably be 2 raised beds or so. I'm going to get them going. I might also do some in that green stock tower. Now I have several more green stock towers we're going to also get going this season as well. And then I feel like the elephant in the room. So yes, everything is really overgrown between these raised beds, and there's life and stuff happening. So the plan with these pathways in the coming weeks, I have a big stack of cardboard over there that we've been saving for weeks and weeks. And we're going to continue to save it. And then we're going to put cardboard down in all of these pathways and get wood chips on these as well. Just so aesthetically, so this looks like a beautiful area, right? Right now, I don't really care because the pathways don't affect what's happening in the raised beds, but just saying that's a project that's coming. So we have our mullein that has come back from last year. Hey, look, we did something. Also, I have these chives from last year that are coming back. And then here we have this, we haven't got new compost on this, but we have 2 onion beds and 2 garlic beds. Definitely a good start. Pile of projects, cardboard, cardboard. There's our big pile of cardboard. So we're getting to it. We've gotten compost on the top of this area that was our pumpkin patch from last year, and we're going to extend it to the end of, we're going to move that pool, and I had potatoes in there last year. Get compost down there, and as far as we can get along the sides here, works in progress. But these are the beds that I guess they were 11 and 13, 2 of my boys last fall got these done. And I like these lights. You know, they serve no purpose other than when I look out my bedroom window at night. For the last year, I have enjoyed it looking like a little airfield out here. Every bed has a couple lights in it, and my bedroom window's over there, and I'm able to look out upon it. The plan for the garden this year, and I'll be talking even more about this in today's video. So we have, of course, our big pumpkin patch and watermelon patch area. We have our raised beds, and then the new area out there, we did the measurements on it the other day. It's another 2,500 square feet. So it's definitely an improvement, and it's definitely, again, as I love to say, it's only getting better from here. And I have some sage that has come back, starting to come back there, and also here. So I also thought I would answer several 2023 homesteading, homestead plans, farm plan questions that I have received. The first question is, are you raising meat chickens this year? Yes, we are. We've been raising meat chickens since 2020. We've done the jumbo Cornish cross. We've also done big red broilers and Freedom Rangers. And then we've also done a variety of barnyard flock and turkeys and such. So this year I'm doing 2 different loads of meat birds. We are doing, let me think of my days of the week here, middle of May I'm getting a load of meat birds that I've ordered, and we will raise them out until towards the end of July and then have a butchering day then. And then middle of July I have another order of meat birds that we will raise out until early October-ish. So we will get 2 loads of meat birds in. It's about 50 to 75 per load that I'm getting. We will raise them out on the grass and rotate them and then process them at home. We have our yard bird chicken plucker and other equipment to do our home butchering with our meat birds. Someone also asked me if we have a compost. Do we have a pile of manure and scraps, or we purchased compost? So as I explained earlier in this video, we did purchase compost this year. I need to get a better compost system in place. You know, not all of our animals have big manure piles that are easily accessible. Our chickens come out every day, and so they have a big area to free range. And our goats and sheep are all over in their areas. I do have manure from the pony. That's my biggest easily accessible manure that we could compost. And again, as I explained earlier, where we had it just did not work out. So I'm going to pull that together this season so we do truly have our own compost for next year. Another question is, would you like a greenhouse in the future? I would love a greenhouse in the future. You know, I just baby step things a little farther every year. And so maybe next year we'll get a hoop house or a high tunnel or a greenhouse situation. For 2023, we're already in the swing of things here, working on getting a garden in and moving forward. As I have shared, it's my first year having grow lights and doing more things, hopefully successfully, by seed. I do have so many mega tomato plants going. Many have sprouted. I'm waiting for my peppers to germinate. Hopefully I will be seeing them in a few days. Besides that, I do plan to plant many things from seed in the garden and then also fill in from my friend's local organic greenhouse on any holes that I might have. Another question from Instagram is, what are you growing and how much of each item? I'm just going to grow a whole lot, and I'm going to see how it all works out. I am doing a wide variety of tomatoes. I mean, at this point, my seeds could fail. I'm hopeful that they won't. If that happens, I will buy local heirloom tomatoes, but I am trying to do my own tomatoes from seeds this year. And I have so many paste tomatoes and just, again, wide variety of tomatoes. I'm also doing a decent amount of peppers. Then we are going to do squash and zucchini and cucumbers. In this video, we've gotten a lot more onions going. I have my onions from the fall that will be ready a little later, and now we are doing spring onions. We also have all of this broccoli and dinosaur kale and cabbage. As I shared in my seed video, I got a lot of seeds. Now, the nice thing with seeds is they don't have to all be used this year, but I do like already having my own seed vault, I guess you could say. Nice selection available. And I also have seeds to reseed things. And we have bean seeds that we're doing, and peas and sugar snap peas. So should be a lot of fun. And again, this year is a little better than last year already, so I'm proud of us. Alrighty, we have approximately 25 strawberries in this raised bed. And so this is what we are working through right now. This is a pile of organic compost that we bought locally. It was a whole dump truck full. So we've been putting that on all the raised beds and different garden areas over here, like as far as the pumpkin and watermelon patch area. So all week, every day, we've been working on this a little more. It's been really hot. Weather report, it's been 85 in Virginia for several days, high 80s. So today, we are supposed to get a big storm, which will be fantastic for the things that we're getting in the ground this morning. We did take an afternoon this week and I had several helpers, and we got I had leaves that were left from the fall that were in these pathways. We went ahead and just put those in the raised beds because I know that'll break down and provide more nutrients for all the things. And then we covered those beds in this compost here that we have been working through. Now, one of the questions that I received for my 2023 Homestead update tour and Q&A and all those things, one of the questions I received over on Instagram was if we have our own compost pile. So I feel like we've had some starts of compost pile. I mean, we have a rescue pony, we have horse manure, we have chicken, we have goat, we have pigs, we have all kinds of critters here, but many of them have big open areas that they run about. I definitely have chicken litter that can go on a compost pile, and then concentrated areas we have the pony. And so with the pony's manure, we have an area, one of my teens cleans that pony yard every day where they have been putting the manure, but then we had a lot of rain and a lot of that got washed around our barnyard area, soaked into the ground. I mean, it's going to make fantastic grass for the barnyard area, but it's still not a big compost pile like I was wanting. And like you know, it's hard to do all the things all at one time. So what I want to work on this year is I want to have a wheelbarrow sitting down, because just the way our land slopes and everything, it's more convenient to shovel the pony manure out one particular side of the fence. But it's not so easy for Travis to get his tractor down in there. So I'm going to get a second wheelbarrow. That wheelbarrow is what we will shovel the pony manure into every day, and then from there that wheelbarrow can be taken to another compost area. Now, we did have another compost area last year, a place where we stacked it all. Again, when the time came, Travis had trouble getting his tractor down, so we just need to coordinate it better. We used a lot of that last year on these beds when we got these started, but just saying, going into this season, I don't have my own compost pile. I really should. I feel like a fool, but that's okay. I have what's needed to do a compost pile. So we need to coordinate on where Travis would like all of that to be dumped every day, where he can also easily access it with his tractor. We'll get there. We'll get there. So I have 25 strawberry plants in here. And also, as I said, I'm not worried about the aesthetics of how the leaves look and such. I know that that is going to break down. When we get our wood chips, though, we will be going between all of our plants, and I have heard that that is supposed to be a good natural weed control way to do things. And so this is going to be my first year ever giving these wood chips a go and seeing how that works for us. Now we have this big new fenced area, this whole wooded area. We worked last fall to have all of that fenced in. I have rotated some goats through there and they have ate down a bunch, but really my vision for this area was to have our different kuni pigs rotating through here. They don't have to have that much space, but since we have the woods and we have the space available, I thought it would be a good area for them. Now, hopes and dreams futuristically, if we ever do a little hopes and dreams cute barn stable setup over here, where maybe we would do things like dairy cow or have birthing stalls for goats. And we have different sheds and structures now, but I am also eyeballing this area for that potentially. This fence can be rolled up and rolled down and moved around as we need it. And I know you can't tell right now because it is definitely overcast, but this is the area where I showed in a recent video a few weeks ago where we had several big stumps and trees. Now, I know that there are trees here. Yes, we can see that. However, I know from living here for a couple years that in the summer, even with the trees, this gets a lot of sun. So with the dead trees out, we're still going to be dealing with some of those. For the most part though, I think this will be a really good additional garden area. And my goal for this year is to at least get compost here and at least get it covered in wood chips and at least let all of that rot until next season. Now I could potentially do some sort of cover crop here. I mean, potential and opportunities just go on and on forever, but just telling you that that's my goal for here, is to get this with something that can really just decay over the next year and see how it goes. Now I have been reading a lot about and learning about straw bale gardening as well. And so one of my thoughts was, additionally with that space, is I could get a bunch of straw bales over there and I could grow things in the straw bales. I don't know that I'll get that far, but I'm just telling you thoughts, plans, potential, what I'm thinking about and planning, and just, you know, brainstorming for this new 2023 season. So we've been saying that we're planting Daniel's dahlias. So all 3 of these are planted with dahlias. And then I had him just take, yes, then I had him take leaves and pile them on top. And what I did earlier this week as we were getting things ready is we also, after we got the compost in, I sprayed everything down with water and fish fertilizer, just to, again, trying to help the soil get ready for a fresh year. So he is working on doing some more Daniel's dahlias. We like the D's, don't we? These are from Costco. And you're gonna do a nice deep hole. Maybe pull, yeah, I was gonna say pull the dirt towards you there. So this has our, it was turkey and cow and various animal compost that we got locally. Just gonna do that hole a little deeper. Good job. Nice. So this is for me to remember what I've planted where. So again, we've got our strawberries up there. We have all 3 of those with dahlias and 1 way back there with dahlias. Those other 4 we'll put other things in. But I'm going to do dahlias and some other beautiful pollinator flowers in this, make this a dedicated, beautiful flower raised bed. And then everything else is going to be food and herb growing attempts. And here's all the ones that I am planting. We have these dahlias in different colors. Now I've grown lilies for years and tulips and daffodils and hosta, but I have never done dahlias. I need to grow up, right? So I'm excited to get these in this year. So we have dahlias here, a bunch of other beautiful flowering plants down there. And then down here, I went ahead, we had a few extra. So there's like 4 dahlias here. And then I had Amelia take another pack of dahlias and we did this end. So hopefully we'll have beautiful flowering things. Alrighty, this was some good work. And now I'm gonna go get some dahlias planted on the garden outside my kitchen windows there. This afternoon, I've had some kiddos working on cleaning up our toy area. That's Tobin's, we call it his birthday truck. Isn't that cute? He got that for his 2nd birthday. We've been just picking up and getting everything how it should be. Alrighty, so we just got back. I went over to my friend's house. She has her own greenhouse, and every year she does heirloom seeds in her greenhouse and then sells them to local folks. And I love to get plants from her. Now I do have seeds started. I'll show you how those are going. I've got 6,000 tomatoes. Haha, maybe we'll fill the whole new 2,500 square foot area with just tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes and tomato varieties in the works. Have already started shooting up, and a good bit of peppers. But let me show you what I got today. And so I got a lot of cold weather crops. She said that many of these will be ready in 2 to 3 months. And so I'm going to give these a go. The onions, she said they're about 100 days. So we have cabbage, we have broccoli, we have dinosaur kale, and then I have yellow onions and red onions. And then I also got 3 flats of marigolds from her. I have marigold seeds. We're going to do so many marigolds, but of course these are already going. And next year, with my garden lights and shelves set up, I'll be able to start many of these things also. Mid-February, early March, here we are now, it's almost May. So I'm glad to have someone who got these things going for me this year. It's exciting. And we had a good soaking rain while I'm here. It's just been soaking rain and then sunshine all day. So that's really good on all the garden beds and makes the ground super great for getting these plants in. And then she gave Amelia, this is a little mini sunflower. It'll get about 18 inches tall. She's putting some compost in this pot. She's going to take the hanger off of it, but she's going to get the little sunflower in there because we were told that these kind of sunflowers do really well in little pots. All right, so you know the jokes about having all our ducks in a row, right? Well, I may not have my ducks in a row, but I got a bunch of my chickens in a row, so that's pretty good, huh? I shared a bunch of rain, and they are out now, back out in the sunshine, having a fantastic time being in a row on that log together. I love it. Okay, so here's the plan. The plan right now is I'm gonna get started with these onions. Will I fit them all in one bed? Will it be two? We're gonna find out. But if it is two, these will be the two that we do them in. And then down here, we will do the cabbage. I'm looking at the, golden acre cabbage. We'll do here. We will not look at my pile. Okay. Then we will do dinosaur kale here. Or maybe that's backwards. This is broccoli. Broccoli here. And then I set the dinosaur kale in this bed. And then that is going to give us 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beds that still need planting. Not today, we'll get there. And then also, so this is the new, has all those dahlias and such in it. Then we will go around once we get these items in the ground and we will sprinkle marigolds about. Last year I did them in the corners of many of these beds. So we'll start getting some in some corners and go from there. And these strawberries got a good beaten down rain, it looks like, but that will help them in their new home. Another question from Instagram is, what are my homesteading goals for this year? So my goals for this year are, of course, to get this garden going, right? I want to be using every raised bed wisely. I have several more green stock towers that we're going to be getting set up in the coming weeks. I'm going to expand this pumpkin patch a little longer in each direction. And then we have the new additional 2,500 square foot garden space right beside the raised beds. And that is where I'm envisioning doing a lot of these tomatoes to get some trellises going, and also our peppers. I would also like to continue my square foot gardening that I'm exercising this year in my raised beds. And I would like to do a lot of intercrop planting. So I would like to plant things along with my tomatoes that go together with them. And I would like to be one nice big step closer to providing more of our food at home. Now, my garden is not a big enough garden to feed a family of 11 from what I've heard. As an example, over on the Seasonal Homestead, I was reading on her blog, and she had a garden even in a suburban area, I believe, before their big, beautiful new house, 50-acre, wonderful homestead setup that they have. And over on her blog, when I was reading, she was saying that she tells people, and again, this could be slightly off, but I think I'm pretty close here, that it's about 600 square foot per person. So that would mean I would need about 6,600, little under 7,000 square feet. I could be coming close to that, especially I do have a third new garden space that we've at least cleared the trees out of, and Travis used the stump grinder on, and my goal for that third is to get that layered in compost and wood chips this year. And if it does nothing other than sit there for a year and like it and prepare for next year, that is fine. We could get to do no dig garden there also. That's another one of my goals. In my new 2,500 square foot area, I do plan to also cover that area in cardboard and compost. And also in the pathways around my raised beds, I plan to put cardboard down there and all around them and put wood chips in those pathways as well. So those are all big advancements that little things I have learned, little tidbits I have picked up, little skills and knowledge here and there that I would like to put into practice this year. So that's a lot of my gardening goals. Also, friends, wanted to let you know that we are getting closer time to where the large family table community sale is going to be down for the over 70% off. I have the doors open now for a limited time where you are able to join the large family table community for over 70% off, where you get a bunch of exclusive videos from me, tons of included paid products, so many special guests, live calls, pop-up live cooking, special events, extra fun things that we do so very often. I created the large family table community in January 2020 before we knew the world was about to change. And my heart then was to have a special community, an extra fun place that we could all join together and do so many additional things together. Basically, to take this community from YouTube and have it in a special private community where you can get exclusive videos with me, the included paid products, so many special guests, live events, and so much more. So right now, for a limited time, you can click the first link in the description below and join for over 70% off. And you also get access to the over 3 years of exclusive content that's waiting for you over in the large family table community. I wanted to dive deeper with all my online community of friends and create a special hub for creating and sharing even more content and adventures. I wanted us to be able to cook, do all the things, and have extra fun together too. For over 3 years, I've shared exclusive videos made only for membership with favorite recipes, deeper stories, longer Q&As, taking member-only special request videos, answering business-minded mama questions, and so very much more. So again, friends, click the first link in the description below, and I'll see you over in Large Family Table Community Membership. Now, as far as raising and growing and harvesting our own meat, again, we will be raising and harvesting about 100 to 150 or so meat birds, chicken, and I do have some turkeys coming as well. And so that should be a good amount of meat there. That should be somewhere between 500 and 750 pounds of meat. And that's just thinking if the birds only averaged 5 pounds a bird once they were butchered down and such. So that's very good. We've done that in the past. I think we've done up to 75 before. So again, this year we're doing 2 loads. We have had other years that we've done 2 loads, one earlier in the summer and one later in the fall, and raised them out. So we will be continuing with those skills. Also, this year, we do have 2 Idaho pasture pigs that we have raised for the last year. They are going to the butcher. And then we have our registered Kune pigs. Now, our mama pig did have her first litter, and we've been raising those. And hopefully at some point this summer, she has another litter of pigs. Now, we are raising them out. It's more long-term, but we are raising them out for future meat as well. Another question is, are you planning on doing all organic gardening or do you use Miracle-Gro? So I am doing organic gardening. Another question is, and some of these go together, I'll just read you a couple here. Will you get back into milking any variety of animal? Another question, still have meat birds? Still have milk goats? Another question, are you going to raise more meat animals? So the new meat animal we added this past year were the pigs. And so we're continuing on with that. We have not been successful in our meat rabbits actually breeding. So we've had a couple different males and a couple different females. And I don't know our meat rabbit experience. Maybe our rabbits are broken. But we've been trying off and on here over the last 3 years to get a meat rabbit production going. And things have not clicked. So That's weird. We'll try again. We're going to probably try to get another buck. We've had 2 different bucks, and I don't know. I'm joking. Maybe they're broken bucks. I don't know. That's definitely a meat source we wanted to get into. I've thought about quail. We're not doing that yet. Definitely, though, we are successful in raising and processing chickens. So I feel accomplished in that. And also, we've had good experiences hatching chicks from the incubator. So at least sitting here in spring 2023, I don't have any other meat animals that I'm adding to the homestead as of this point. Right now, again, we're focusing on poultry and pigs. The pigs we have are slow growers, but we will at least have the meat from 2 of these pigs that we have raised this year. And then hopefully next year we have a few more that are ready to be processed. And as far as milking goats and getting back into milking, we do have several goats. We always have a variety of goats here, a variety of breeds. We have La Manchas, and we also have Nigerian dwarfs. We have a registered Nigerian dwarf buck currently. I'm sure we will have baby goats on the homestead later this summer, which is always a really fun experience for the kids. We are not currently milking. Now, we learned and milked a goat for 9 months during the pandemic when we were limited to only buying a gallon of milk each time we went to the store. And we're a gallon a day kind of family. So we got a gallon of milk every day from our goat. And I believe we got about 270 or so gallons. I forget my math on it, but it was a great experience. And we have the milk stand and we have the knowledge. We are not milking at this time. And even if we do have baby goats later this summer, they will just drink their mama's milk. And at this time, we're not planning to milk them this summer, and that's okay. Those can be skills that we can use at a later time. Now, we did get a bottle-fed cow in, let's see here, spring, about this time last year, and we hand-raised that bottle-fed cow. We bought her off of Craigslist. Her mama was a Dexter, and her daddy was a Holstein, and on our property, we have about 7 acres. We could not really hold a Holstein on this property without giving up quite a bit of land for it. But we could have like a mini Jersey or a Dexter cow here. And so we got her with the intent, I was focusing on that half Dexter, that we would be able to hand raise her, and eventually in a few years we could learn the whole process and she could be our milk cow. However, things happen on the farm. Don, don, don. Insert shocking music. And our calf decided to go more Holstein than Dexter. A Holstein is one of the largest breeds. She became very big by this winter. It was a progression. Now, let me say, first off, before I say anything further, I'm proud of us. We had never raised a calf before, let alone bottle-fed a calf. We got local, organic, raw milk, and we bottle-fed that calf multiple times a day, every day. And several local farmers told us to not feel bad if our calf went down, because those Holsteins, one farmer told me, those Holsteins have no will to live, and if they go down, it's hard to get them back up. Our calf never went down. It was a great experience, and we raised her for almost a full year. It got to the point, though, with the fencing options that we have and her advanced super mega size, it became apparent that we were not set up with our fencing and other farm situations to house her since she was still growing. And the vet said, yeah, she was taken after the Holstein and she was going to be Holstein size. And we also had some experiences of her letting some other animals out and knocking down a gate and, just farm adventures. We have animals get out and such, but for such a large animal, the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say, is when I had family in the hospital after a near fatal car accident, and I was in the hospital with them, helping them with various things for over a week. And at that time, she got out. It was not a convenient time for the cow to got out. and also let the pony out, and it was quite the adventure. Everything was handled. But anyway, that just confirmed things for me that this was not the cow breed or the cow season for us, with the additional unexpected life events that I was also juggling. So she was picked up, she was taken to a local auction, and we sold her. And that's how life has continued for her and for us. Another question is, do you plant separately or group things together that benefit each other? I am learning more about which plants benefit one another, and that's what I'm trying to already get going in my garden. And so hopefully you will see more of that as the season continues. Already I was reading about how sage and strawberry can be planted together, and since I already have some sage coming back in my strawberry bed, I feel like that's a win-win. Another question is, how do you keep critters away from your garden? Last year, raccoons ate every tomato. Boy, so we have Great Pyrenees also, and I feel like their presence and their bark and their patrolling keep most of the critters away. So that's helpful in our situations. I haven't done any other garden protection besides having guard dogs. Another question is, have you thought about starting a fruit tree orchard? So we planted, I believe it was 5 apple trees last year, and this year they are flowering. They are going to take 5 to 8 years before they start producing apples. We have begun. Another question is, do you feel any kind of self-pressure that your garden needs to produce food? I feel like I would like my garden to produce food. This has always been a dream of mine. Even travel with me, back to the farmhouse days, I was getting the plants from the Mennonite greenhouse in that old fertile farm soil. We were growing many things and having produce for the summer, and I was trying to learn then. I was in the beginning stages of learning how to do food preservation. So this has been a long time dream of mine, and I'm glad that I'm able to learn these skills now. I would love to, believe it or not, I would love to truly do a year without the grocery store and get out of going to the grocery store. I do love going grocery shopping, I'll say that. I love being able to go grocery shopping, buy groceries for my family, have a food supply, have food storage. But I want to continue to take baby steps to be as self-sufficient as we can in this modern day, be as self-sufficient as possible. I'm not sure what that will look like for us. I do see many families who are very much self-sufficient, and they have been at this for decades. And I feel like I am really in my 3rd year of trying to make baby steps in this direction. I have built up an emergency food storage. I have learned to butcher our own poultry at home. I have continued to grow in my canning skills and freeze drying and emergency food storage and the bucket storage food preservation. And so I just want to continue learning these skills and growing. Of course, I wish I would have learned it all when I was 33 and not when I was 43. But I will give myself some credit. Sometimes I feel, quote, behind. Who am I behind? I don't know. I wish that these were skills I already had at this age. And then I think, you know what? Okay, what have I been doing the last 10 years? I have put a lot of time and energy and thought into growing a very, very successful online business. So I may not be able to 100% grow all of our fruits and vegetables a year in advance yet. But I have built a business that totally provides for my family of 11. And it's a blessing. It's a miracle. I have worked very hard. I have put a lot of my time into learning business skills, trial and error, tested by fire, hours and hours of learning and honing and developing and gathering information. And let me tell you, I love talking about farming. I love talking about homeschooling. I love talking about big batch cooking, because that is something I've been doing for over 20 years. I have been saving money at the grocery store, and I have been big batch cooking for over 2 decades. And I've been doing freezer meals and preserving food along those lines. But the other thing I love to talk about is business and moms in business and moms growing businesses. So I feel like this gardening is something I have always flowered garden. I've always had tons of bulbs. I've always enjoyed my perennials. But you are watching me walk out my hopes and dreams in learning this organic vegetable gardening and continuing to learn more food preservation skills. Yes, when I was 33, I wanted to figure all this out. But I took a side road called Successful Business Mama. And that's where the journey has taken me. So now I'm able to swing back and continue to grow in these skills that I've always wanted to grow in. Now, I'll also say I have been raising chickens for over 15 years now, and probably about 8 or 9 years ago. So my first flock of chickens I bought, they were already laying hens, and I raised those, had those for a long time. And then I'm going to say, 8 to 10 years ago, I got into ordering chicks and raising them that way, like raising new flocks from 1 day old. And now since then, we have let our hens at different times go broody. So we have had chicks hatch from the egg the old-fashioned way on the farm. We did that a lot in 2021. And then last year we added the incubator in. So I have been growing in my chicken mama walk for 15 years now, and I love me my chickens. Another question is, why did you stop showing the animals in your videos? You know, I try to show what I can. I've shown you some animals in today's video. I am not a 100% farming channel. We love to watch Weed 'em and Reap. That's a couple of my kids' favorite channel, and we are all caught up over there on, Luna and their goat births and all the goat situations. They share their wonderful 1 acre Arizona homestead content. You know all their goats' names. You know all the health situations. We get constant updates. This is not that channel. I'm not able to keep up with sharing all the intricate details on each and every animal. Some of our animals are born here, some of our animals are processed here, some of our animals are traded or go to auction. We have different needs with different animals, different situations, different purposes for our animals, and you will see them from time to time. I have learned over the years, if you see an animal, I can't keep up with the constant updating about the animal. It's hard enough for me to keep up with all this food over here. But I do want to share, right now my goal is once a month to have a 2023 Homestead Update progression video, and I'll show you how the garden's doing every month, and I'll show you how some animal projects are going on, and you'll get one of those videos a month. That's 12 videos a year. So it's not going to be a constant update. There's certainly times on Instagram I'll share some animals and stories. I'll share some animal pictures here and there, but again, I do show them. The thing is, I just show you 12 to 14 videos a month. That's Mega Mama Big Batch Cooking Food and food processing and food preservation. And that's mainly what you get from me. I'm sharing this homestead update because it's fun for me. It's like, this is my hobby, friends. Come enjoy this hobby with me. And I want to see, like now, I want to remember where I planted what where. I want to have these videos to come and look back on to see how the garden is done, to see how the property has progressed. We have other hopes and dreams, homestead projects that will be the goal to be 100% capable of living off your animal/garden, time frame to do so. I don't know if we'll get to 100%. I've heard some other homesteaders say 95%. I have a lot to continue to learn and grow in. I don't know if I'm on a 5-year journey, a 10-year journey. It's probably a lifetime journey. But I would think as things progress that within a few seasons, we could be a lot farther than we are at this moment. And already at this moment, I'm a lot farther than I was just a few years ago. Another question, are you going to get a cow and milk? So I'm reevaluating the cow situation. I definitely need to go with a cow that's a particular breed that I already have a good idea. It's not a mystery on how big they're going to get or the weight range. It's not one extreme or the other. Like you think you'll get more Dexter and it throws more of a Holstein. I have been looking and reading into the mini jerseys. I know I have read and I've heard from some friends it's good to get an experienced cow that's already in milk, that already has a calf, and that potentially is already pregnant again. So that is what I'm leaning towards us doing futuristically. I don't see us doing that in 2023. I do see us doing that maybe in 2024 or 2025. Okay, it is, well, let's see, I got a light shining. I'm trying to show you the time. Okay, it's 9:24. Let me take my light away. I just want to show you when I say that my garden, sorry, I'm trying to focus my camera and put my light down. But when I say it looks like a runway outside of my bedroom window, let's see. Okay, now I'm down here from it a bit. It just looks really cool. I've been enjoying it this past year. So I've been working in the dark. I do have Travis's light out here, but things will be even more out of focus if I try to show you this. I've tried it a couple times and I will show you tomorrow how things look. I'm going to continue to work. I've gotten the cabbage planted, the broccoli planted, just finished the dinosaur kale, not that you can see any of it. Trust me, trust me. I'm going to go ahead and get these marigolds I bought today in these beds because I'm dirty. You know, the kids are inside, everything's calm. You can probably hear it. Do you hear those? You hear the crickets and different nighttime critters. Anyway, and I have had some kids come and visit me too. Like, Mommy, are you scared out here in the dark? I'm like, no, no, no. Mommy loves it. This is just fine. Let me see if I can show you this. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I did put that little flag and that little gnome. But there's the marigolds. Are we focusing? Okay, I think I can show you individual beds. But I got that little flag up. So those 3 flats are left. I'm going to just go around and drop marigolds in different beds. Now, I do have marigold seeds. I have some of my, oh yes, Kitty's out here with me. I have marigold seeds I saved from last year also. So it'll just be marigolds everywhere. But I'm so glad my friends had these ready so I can get a good start on things. So I thought you all would like this. It's 9:31. I found a purpose for Scam Van. I drove Scam Van today. It got me to my friend's house to pick up the plants and get back home. It can be my nighttime garden light, right? I had pulled it over here to unload the plants earlier, and I just went now to put a few things in this van, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I could just turn the van and have lights for these marigolds and finishing things up this evening. Okay, now I'm going to focus it again. So anyway, we will have some full illumination going on as we continue this garden project. I think I've been gardening at least 8 hours today. It feels good to be getting so many things in and so much done. Once I'm done with the marigolds tomorrow, when I get home from church, I'll give you guys the full tour and show you in the sunshine what I've been able to get done today. Another new day, and the hostas are coming up even more. And look, that little fern, even since I showed it to you yesterday, it's coming up more. We have hopes and dreams happening here. Just hostas everywhere. I know that one's up taller. It's because of the rain. So here we are, new day, blaring sunshine today, although more storms are coming. But again, it's like 1 o'clock. Look at this. I am so very excited about the sunshine. So we will come over here and see what our, not quite midnight gardening, till 10:30 p.m. gardening. There's the little flag and the little gnome. Okay, so to review yesterday, we got dahlias in these beds here and in that bed over there. And now this is strawberries, a couple little marigolds tucked in there. This is all strawberries. This is going to be a flower garden. Again, hello pollinators. Lots of dahlias and other goodies in here, and I did tuck in a few little marigolds. Nothing else in this bed besides our mullein, and I did get a few little marigolds. Those were the last things I did. Nothing in this bed besides a few little starter marigolds. Nothing in this bed besides my new duck. Okay. The beds that need things in them now are these 3 here. I have a trip coming up, but when I get back, we will get things going from seed in these beds, is my thinking. And also, you can see over there, I got a few of my younger pullets out, having a nice little teenager time. We're moving them to a different area today. So anyway, I have cabbage in this bed. I have broccoli in this bed. I have half broccoli, half onions in this bed. I have all onions in this bed. All onions in this bed. All onions in this bed. These 4 beds have nothing in them yet, and my tower has nothing in it. And then these beds over here, again, are, these 2 are garlic, and then these 2 are onions. And after watching more onion videos, I feel like I should have so many more in here. But again, we're gonna learn things, right? Doing things. There's some great onion videos and garlic videos that show it really coming up, jammed up together and making the most of that space. But like I say, my 13-year-old and 11-year-old at the time got these in for me when I could not move. So that is awesome. In here, I'm pretty sure this is all dinosaur kale, and this is all dinosaur kale as well. So there you go, friends. There are so many of my spring 2023 homestead plans and garden updates. I do hope and plan, yay, to come back to you later in May and let you know how the last month has progressed with the garden and with the meat birds that are coming in and getting our other little hens over in with our main flock and get them going with our little barnyard routines. And don't forget, for a limited time, click the first link in the description below to join me over in the large family table community for over 70% off. For a limited time, you get tons of additional exclusive videos with me, chatty live calls, included paid products, special guests, over 3 years of content ready and waiting for you, and so much more. So click that first link in the description below and join me today. Yay!